How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. So the Reds just came fresh off a historic free agency when it comes to spending money here at the 2019-2020 free agency period last season, picking up Castellanos, you had Mike Moustakas, you had Shogo, just to name a few. A team for the second straight year, really, when you think about it, they made that trade, that Matt Kemp trade to Puig, where they thought they could bring those guys over and try to contend that year as well. So for the second straight year, you've seen the Reds go into the offseason trying to make some moves to try to better this team and put them in a position to, contend for a playoff spot or even win a World Series. And now all of a sudden we go into this offseason, the 2021 offseason. The Reds appear to be conservative sellers, if you will, in Nick Krale's inaugural year, leaving many people, scratching their heads, rightfully so, seeing the departures of guys like Archie Bradley, Raisel Iglesias for little to nothing really does kind of, tie some knots into the stomach a little bit there as a Reds fan. And I think the bigger picture here is the Reds aren't the Dodgers. The Dodgers, who once again went out and flexed their muscle this season or offseason, their biggest asset, no question about it, and that's their pockets, where they went out and signed, well, we've seen Trevor Bauer, 3 years, $100 million. A guy, the Dodgers even need Trevor Bauer? No. Hey, they go on one World Series and they need Trevor Bauer? No. They go out and sign him. It must be nice to live in a world where there's not a salary cap if you're the Los Angeles Dodgers. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. Irrelevant for the Reds. They just have to do what they can to try to build a contender over here in Cincinnati. And Cincinnati, a team who is sitting on about a $48 million TV deal. We bring that up courtesy of Fangraphs. Why? Because the Dodgers are sitting on $239 million. You see the big difference there. The reason you can see a team like the Dodgers go out there and be big spenders in free agency is because they have all that revenue coming in from a TV deal. The Reds, on the other hand, not so much. It's not horrible, middle of the pack, but it's not some big market team TV deal. The Dodgers, who, by the way, are just about close to doubling the second highest team from a TV deal standpoint. Nonetheless, though, the Reds, it means they're depending on fans in the stands to generate some revenue. And something last year, Reds made all these free agency signings. It was kind of saying, hey, guess what? We're gonna have fans. We're gonna kind of gamble a little bit here. Let's be honest, they was kind of spending a little bit beyond their means last season, and it was a game of investing. If you're the Reds, it was like, let's pick these guys up. We'll get some more fans or fans to show up to the game, and we will have a successful season. And it's the longer term benefits. We'll play the game. We'll see the payroll. We'll see the money come in. It'll go a little bit higher because of that, bringing these guys in, winning some games. Unfortunately, though, we've seen it. No fans in the stands kind of put a huge dent into that forecast, if you will, if you're the Reds. So I do get that perspective, trying to recoup some of the losses from last season. It's a tough pill to swallow completely as, again, a Reds fan, but it is what it is. And that is completely understandable. The big waiting hole here for the Reds, though, going to this offseason is for a shortstop. Again, because of financial stress, I wasn't really expecting some big name player. I actually really just, seeing Jonathan VR get that $3.5 million contract. I like the Jonathan VR rumor. There was a rumor the Reds were going to have to sign him. I like that as a shortstop. 1 year deal. He's got, a decent upside, and he's a fast guy. Add some speed to the base pads for these Reds. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So it looks like what could be happening here is we're going to see the Reds try to make the in-house players work, whether that be the talk we heard about Kyle Farmer playing shortstop, or, Jose Garcia, whoever they plug in. Maybe they pick up another cheap guy for that 1 year deal. Because the fact of the matter is, this ain't the first time, I think, being completely truthful here, this ain't the first time we've seen the Reds go in the season without a, shortstop. There's been, since even so many years of Zach Kozar, whoever you want to bring it up, there was so much inconsistency at the shortstop position. It's been a hole for quite a long time now for the Reds. And they've been successful with that hole. They've been successful by picking up a defensive shortstop and using that and then hitting around him. And I think this is a team you look at last year. Again, let's not forget how much they did spend last offseason in Castellanos, Moustakas, Shogo. These guys that have 270 to 300 batting average capability. Moustakas probably closer to 260. But the power, the 30-35 home run type of players that underperformed last season. A lot of these guys on this team did. There's no secret about it. This team is a poor hitting team for a reason. And you expect these guys to bounce back, I think. If you see these guys bounce back next year, you throw in Suarez as well, this is a team that looks a lot better from a hitting perspective. They can start hitting the baseball a lot better. I still think they're a team that's going to be a legitimate contender this year then. That's the concern. And, you can get over the fact that your shortstop, if your shortstop bats 220, 215, 225, whatever, you can get over that. but you need the other guys to lift up this team, and that's something we struggled to see last year, and I think that's the real focal point here. It's tough to see the Reds not be active in free agency. Completely understand it, though. We're used to them being a little bit more passive in free agency. Last year might have spoiled us a little bit. I think this team still, they're in a really good position to win games if they can get those bats going still. Let's not forget Castillo, Gray. I know we've seen Trevor Bauer leave again, Iglesias, but we've seen him bring in maybe Doolittle can, help this team out. Some younger guys in that pen. There's a lot to look forward to with this Reds team still, I think, even after this offseason. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.